everybody. Thanks for joining here. It's Wednesday, Central Wisconsin, August something. Yeah, somewhere in the first week of August, second week, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Yeah, so here we are looking at the projects I have going on. There's no end to the projects, so figured I'd just kind of walk around through all the projects and kind of show you how they're doing right now and the work that still needs to be done on them, which projects are going good, which are going bad. There's a lot of projects around here. So, yeah, this is Nick with Nick's Nonsense. Live in Central Wisconsin. I have 7 kids, 2 girls, 5 boys. And we live out in the country. Moved out to this land in 2016. Fixer upper house. A lot that needs to be done. And with so many boys, 5 boys, we're collecting all kinds of projects to work on. So lots of fun to do around here. Always something to do. So what you see behind me here is a 1960 Ford Starliner, Christine. This one we've had on the road twice, maybe 3 times. I think just twice though. So hopefully yet this summer we're going to take it out on the road again. Maybe. Might try starting this thing today. Make sure it starts. I haven't started this thing in quite a while. And over here, 1972 F-250. We call Ruby. I won't be starting that one today. That one needs a fuel pump. Hopefully soon though. We got fuel pumps laying around, so not sure what's going on. I don't know how many fuel pumps I've purchased. And that one doesn't have fuel pump in it. Keeps getting borrowed for a different vehicle. I think a lot of the new fuel pumps that you buy, they're mechanical fuel pumps, so they stick in the engine above or below this lobe type thing that moves up and down. I think a lot of the new ones are just really junky and they leak and they don't have the proper pressure. They don't pump the fuel. So you can't get any good mechanical fuel pumps these days. So that's why we won't be starting that one today, but we'll give this one a try. We'll try starting the 1960 Ford Starliner here in a little bit. But before we do that, let me just show you the status of our other projects that we've been working on. Past couple videos, some of you might have seen, we've been working on a couple of 4-wheelers, Kawasaki UTV, a Yamaha golf cart, and some of those projects are working good and some are not. So let's take a look here. There's the first of the 4-wheelers. This is a Yamaha Big Bear. I had to go rescue this one from out in the field. The wheel was all wonky on it, this front wheel here. This wheel right here, the suspension dropped loose and the whole wheel was kicked to the side. Hey, thanks for joining. All right, so basically we had to fix it on the spot out in the field because we couldn't drag this thing with the front wheel pointing to the side. So we got it pushed back up in there, bolts back on. I think we need a bigger bolt because the bolt looks like it was worn out and that just dropped loose from there. So this is actually where it sits from when we pulled it over here. Or actually we drove it over here. Uh-oh. Tell you what, I'll be right back. I'm gonna put you on pause. I've got a phone call. Oh, I can't figure out how to take the phone call and still have you guys, so I'll return that phone call in a minute. All right, when it keeps ringing, you guys gotta keep hearing it. Let me push silence. Okay, what we have here is, what is this one? This is a Kawasaki. That was the Yamaha Big Bear. This one's the Kawasaki 400. And we got this one in trade from a RC car. And it didn't work, top end, the piston was shredded. We got that replaced, and it's working pretty good now. So, all right. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. All right, we're just talking about some of the projects around here. Those are the two four-wheelers. The Yamaha Big Bear, the one in the back, still sits from where we parked it after we rescued it in the field. All right, thanks for liking. This is the Polaris. That's what this is. It's a Polaris, and the Polaris 400. That one runs and drives. Throttle's a little bit weird. Carburetor's still needing some work. You guys, I did a live stream while working on that, and some of you guys helped a lot on getting that carburetor tuned. We can now run and drive it. It runs and drives for a good period of time, and it just has a little bit of issues. You just gotta learn to use the throttle, then that one works. All right, thanks guys, thanks for joining. Over here, actually, before we get to that thing, let's talk about this. This is a Yamaha golf cart. It still needs more work, but since we did that work on it in a past live stream, this one's been running and driving just fine, no issues since then. But the rear sprocket is like totally worn out on it. So that it's just a ticking time bomb before we're gonna have to replace that rear sprocket. Now, this thing over here is a Kawasaki Mule. Used to have a diesel engine in it. Now it's a Predator engine. And we've been having problems with it ever since we got it. Red punch buggy, no punch backs. Yeah. All right. So what I was really hoping to show you guys today was putting a new rear sprocket on here and having it finally run and drive. The problem is I measured it. I measured the shaft on the transmission and with a caliper, and it came to 1.1 inches. And I looked and I looked and I looked and I looked. I looked at the millimeter version. I couldn't find any sprockets with a bore of 1.1 inches. Nowhere. Nowhere at all. So I'm like, well, maybe I measured wrong. Let me get a 1-inch one. Guess what? It arrived today. 1-inch one doesn't fit. It's close to fitting, but not on a 1.1 inch bore or shaft. So what I've been working on before now was, oh, look how shiny that shaft is. I'm grinding it down to 1 inch because that's the size of our new sprocket. But I'm done doing that for today. Batteries wore out on the cordless angle grinder. It's a really cool angle grinder. Yeah. Starliner, yes. Hi, thanks for joining Zen. Have I got any advice to grow on YouTube? You know, I might have some advice of what works and what does not work, what's maybe a bad idea. I have an okay amount of subscribers, but let me tell you, almost all those subscribers, over half of them, were from one short I did, a short that hit almost 2 million views. And it was a short of me trying to drill start an engine and it grabbing my arm and twisting it and eventually breaking the bit in the drill. And it was awesome to get all those views and over 1,000 subscribers just from that one short. But those aren't the subscribers that want to watch my normal content. They just want to watch me hurting myself. Hi guys, thanks for joining. So I don't know if it's going to work or not, but just last week or earlier this week, I think last week, I created 2 other YouTube channels. I mean, right now they only have 5 subscribers, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus more on this type of stuff on this channel. My shorts, I'm going to just kind of delegate to a different channel, because the people who subscribe from shorts, some of them want to come and watch this stuff, but a lot of them don't. Then I publish a video or do a live stream and they don't want to see this because they want to see me wrenching my arm. So, and then the third channel is going to be like a creative channel. Me and my kids, we're trying to make a movie. And yeah. And the thing is, with the views, I want the people that are subscribed to my channel to want to watch my stuff. So those shorts people, keep them to the shorts channel. And then I've got a channel where I'm just going to do fun stuff, because you might look at my other videos on here and you'll see I do really crazy things sometimes. And that's a different audience than somebody who wants to look at this stuff. So I've got 3 channels now. 2 of them only have 5 subscribers, and honestly, those 5 subscribers are me and my kids. So hoping those take off better. I'll probably take a little hit on this one by no longer publishing shorts. I'll do some, but only when they're related to the long form content or live streams. Other than that, I don't know. YouTube's very, very difficult. The views and the watch hours, I don't have enough watch hours to get monetized yet. It's like impossible, because you hit a certain point and now your previous year's watch hours start falling off backwards and you start losing watch hours. Yeah, so just keep trying. It all it takes is one video. That's what they say. It just takes one video. You get the right video and all of a sudden you get all the subscribers you need. And yes, that's what we're going to do. Let's talk about this here. Hold on. I see something on the ground that shouldn't be there. If you can see there in my hand. Why are there tools on the ground? I'm always dealing with tools on the ground. I'm going to go put that away, because this thing lays on the ground for a month. This thing won't be usable anymore. All right, can you do a shout out for your friend Mick Hunt? Hello, Mick Hunt. Thank you for watching, guys. My name's Nick. Your name's Mick. All right. 1960 Ford Starliner. Pretty close. Fairlane. This is Starliner. Yeah, hard to see the roof line from where we're at. Let's go in and get a little closer look. And we also have a 1972 F-250 4x4. Hi, boy. Let's come on in the garage here. Just got to get through these narrow doors. These doors are especially difficult for the truck. It barely fits through side to side. And the height of the truck, we actually have to push the garage door up beyond where the springs will take it and clamp them in place to be able to back the truck out. Okay, I've been doing lots of different content on one channel, mixed everything, haven't seen that much progress, but I know a lot of factors play into it. Yeah, yep. And I think what's hurting me and possibly some of you other guys is I do all kinds of stuff, because I'm not just focused on one thing. My son Tanner, he's got a channel called Tanner Rebuilds, and he is mainly focused on working on these cars. So if you guys like these cars, he's put in a lot more time on these cars than me. And he's focused mostly on working on the vehicles. Hello from Glastonbury, England. Awesome. Thanks for joining from England. My mom's actually in England right now doing a trek, a walk through a lot of those walking paths. So I think she'll be leaving any day now. I saw her latest posting where she's getting closer and closer to London, where the airport is. Awesome. All right, your channel just isn't as subject most people care about. Yeah. People probably don't care about my subjects either. But I figure someday some group of people might want to come and see the craziness that's going on. So my channel's about me living in the country in central Wisconsin with 7 kids, 20 acres. We're living in a marsh, so it's always wet here. Right now we haven't had rain in a week and a half, and I'm loving it. It's dry. I still haven't even watered the garden yet. Okay, so let's take a look at this truck. This is, and then we're gonna start. We're gonna try and start that Starliner in a little bit here. So, but let's look at the truck first, then we'll try and start that. 1972 F250. It's got a Ford FE engine in it. I don't think we've ever measured the bore and the stroke because we've not had the heads off. I think we did measure the stroke though, and I think it's just 352. Yeah, 7 kids. There's no dull moment around here. And that's why I find stuff like a needle nose pliers sitting on the ground because everyone borrows stuff and then they don't put it back. All right, I hear some bees. Can you guys hear them? I don't like hearing bees in the hood. They're up in here. Yeah, it's probably mud daubers. They're like predatory wasps. All right. All right, good. Thanks for liking my story and content. Glad that someone else besides me likes it. All right, so what we have with this engine here is we're missing way down in here, right there. There's a hole. There's a hole in the side of the block. It's meant to be there. That's where this thing goes. Mechanical fuel pump. This weird arm looking thing right there, that goes against the engine. Then as the engine rotates, it pumps it up and down, up and down, up and down, and makes it pump the fuel. But for some reason, it's not in there. I think because it didn't work. What's my favorite muscle car? Well, let me tell you a car that's not a muscle car. My first car when I was a kid, when I turned 16, and I can't do this for my kids, so yeah, kudos to my dad. But he got me a 1984 Pontiac Fiero. Yeah, that's not a muscle car by no means. It was a 4-cylinder, but that was a fun car. Rear engine, sports car like. People thought it was fast, but it wasn't fast. Yeah, that was a fun car. They were cheap. That's one of the reasons he was able to get it. And yeah, I think that's awesome that he was able to get me a car when I turned 16. Had a lot of fun with that car, stick shift. None of my friends could drive stick shift at the time, so yeah, they couldn't take it and borrow it. As far as a real muscle car, yeah, there's a lot of cool cars out there. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I like Lamborghinis. They're a supercar though, not a muscle car. Got to be handy with the steel. Still cold, 2-door at least. Yeah, it was a 2-door. It looked cool, and it had a sunroof. Headlights that pop up. Yep. Got to be handy with the steel. I'm not handy with the steel. Um, Favorite supercar. Yeah, I think Lamborghini Countach or whatever they called it back in the 80s or 90s. Those were my favorite. Nowadays, I don't pay that much attention to the newer cars these days because I can't afford one. When you're a kid, you think that you can afford anything. Okay, movie quote. I don't know. Nice movie quote. I don't have any. Oh, no, can't think of any movie quotes. I'll ponder that. If I think of one, I'll pass it on here. So yeah, let's get back to this. That's the engine bay. So we won't be starting the truck today. We've had it on the road twice. We still need to bleed the brakes. It was backfiring a lot the last time. So since then, we've changed the carburetor. It had a Holley carburetor on it, like super big. Ooh, Warren G. Yeah. Regulators. It was Cold Black Night or something like that. I don't know. It's been a while. That's a cool song. Right, here we go. So here's the inside of this truck here. Let me hop on in. Okay. Let me bring you guys in. All right. Yeah, so what we have here are some old classic cars. All these old classic cars we inherited from my father-in-law. There we go. Okay. I got you in the truck here with me. There we go. So we can pretend we're going to start it, but it won't start. So I'm not going to crank the engine. There's actually no battery in it right now because batteries are expensive. And we've gone through so many batteries. But so here you can imagine junk in the bed. You can just imagine driving this thing. It's getting hot in here, so I'm going to hop out. But we're going to hope to get this thing on the road yet this summer. So if you want to see that running and driving, just keep, the video is reversed. I cannot figure out how to flip the video so it looks proper on these live streams. One of these days I'll look it up. I haven't bothered to look it up yet. Don't you love the sound? The sound of these old doors. They're just smooth, that heavy click. Nope, not for sale. Thanks for asking though. But yeah, we inherited it from my father-in-law, so it's part of the family. My daily driver, we'll take a look at the Starliner in just a minute, and then we'll try and start the Starliner. I haven't started in months, if not more, but I think he'll start. My daily driver, I've got the vehicle I drive to work. That's a work vehicle. We won't talk about that one. There we go. We just picked up this 2008 F-150 last fall. Yeah, no, nothing inside that car. But yeah, F-150. It's got about 74,000 miles on it, maybe 75. So really low mileage for its age, and actually almost no visible rust. So this was a great find. We found it a really good price too. Somebody about a half hour from here locally selling it on Facebook. Yeah, that was a good find. Triton 5.4. It's got a exhaust manifold leak. So a little bit of tick, 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 tick as you hear the air poofing out. We've got to look into that. Otherwise, what you won't see here today is our van, because some of you, why did you get censored? I'm not touching it. I'm just walking around talking. Bug, eek. I didn't eat a bug again, did I? So some of you might have heard that I have 7 kids, 2 girls, 5 boys. Oldest girl's 21, and then they're about 2 years apart going from there down. So right there in the missing spot, the empty spot here. Don't show my plates. Okay, don't look. The empty spot there. The empty spot is where our van, yeah, it's my camera. My camera is flipping everything. No, I'm not across the sea here, except for those of you who joined from England. We have a 15-passenger van that sits there. I try not to drive that too much. That thing's not very cool. It's white. Yeah, a white 15-passenger van. It's a 2017 Ford Transit 350. There's Thomas. And all of my family are at the beach today, except 2 of them. One of them stayed home, and the other is at camp. He's at summer camp today. Okay, you got 2 vehicles stolen. Oh yeah, that's no fun. Yep, but yeah, we've got cameras out here, Wi-Fi enabled cameras, and those trail cams. So yeah, I mean, somebody might come out here and steal them, but they're not going to get too far without being found out. All right, so here we are back in the garage here. So Starliner, I hear those bees up in there again. What classic? All right, yeah, we've got a 1960 Ford Starliner here. Let's go ahead and open the door. We'll try starting this one in a couple minutes here. Let's hop in the side here. So this garage barely fits these two. I wish it fit them better. I gotta watch opening this door there. Don't want to hit the truck. All right, we got all kinds of LED lights on the seat. I think Tanner was doing something, trying LED lights in here. All right, let's hop on in. A magnet in here. All right. Steering wheel's on that side. That's the correct side. It's probably flipped for you guys. This one's not a 390. Excuse me. This one's a Y block. Let's get you in all the way here. 292 Y block. Just imagine back in the day, sitting in one of these big cars, cruising down the road. It's pretty cool. It's a Starliner, named because it's like space-like, because 1960, that was like the beginning of the space age there. Hi guys, thanks for joining. Hello from Russia. Yeah. We're sitting in a 1960 Ford Starliner. You guys probably can't read it because it's probably backwards for you. Hopefully I can figure out how to flip the phone so it's not mirroring everything someday. So this one needed a lot of rust repair. It looked great from the outside, and it still does. We did almost nothing on the outside, but as soon as we took a peek underneath it, it was rusted out like crazy. I mean, we're talking holes all the way through. You could see the ground in many places. So we gutted this thing, ripped the whole interior out, ripped the trunk apart, cut the whole trunk out, cut a lot of the floor apart, and started welding back in patches. The frame had chunks that were rusty and crumbling, cut out chunks of the frame and welded replacements back in. Do I have the best cars? Probably not the best. We basically did nothing to the body because I've never worked on body work, but I think I'm going to get my chance because after we start this one, hopefully it'll start, I'll go show you our project Starliners. We've got some project 1960 Ford Starliners too. Ford Contour, awesome. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go put you up by the engine bay, and I'm going to come around to that mirror imaged driver's side over there, and I'm going to see if I can start this thing. I haven't started this in quite some time, but we're hoping and planning to get the camera up here. We're hoping and planning to get this on the road yet this summer. Same thing with that truck right there. All right, let me point you at the engine bay a little bit here. I think that he put it in a garage. Okay, let me walk around to that side and crank this thing up. Looks like the battery's connected. Tanner must have been in here. I usually disconnect the batteries. I don't want them draining. Batteries are expensive. All right. There I am. Gonna squeeze through this door, which barely fits, barely opens in here. the shifter, like the neutral safety switch or selector switch, is kind of goofy, or the park switch. So I've got to like hold the shifter like way up, way past park in order for it to know that it's really in park. Right away. A little bit of low idling right now. I would have revved it a little to wake up the idle, but I was already climbing out. All right, let's go see how it sounds at the back end here. There we go. Now it's smoothing out a little. Cool. Let me go ahead and just give it a couple little burps with the gas, and then we'll shut it down, and I'll show you a couple of the other Starliners. Alrighty. There we go. For just having a smallish engine, 292Y block, it sounds good. That truck sounds a lot better. But they both sound great. Unfortunately, can't start that truck today. It's not quite ready yet. Let's go take a look at the other Starliners that are not running and driving yet. So out here we've got the Starliner Field. There's another F-250, 1972. It's not got the right bed on it though, but the important parts are correct. It's really just like a parts truck for the nice one in the garage, but we're working on getting that one running and driving too, because why not? That's fun. This is what we worked on last night, my kids and I. We got 4 corner posts in, and then we're running some boards. Now we gotta level it out to bring the gravel up to the bottom. That's gonna be a hoop shed right there. We're building a hoop shed, 20 by 30, and we're hoping to be able to put one of these Starliners in it to work on. These are all 1960 Ford Starliners. And then a really parts one over there. But yeah, so this one will never run and drive unless someone really good is doing it. This one, it's not in too bad a shape, but it's not gonna be easy. This one has potential. It's a pretty solid car. We just pulled the Ford FE engine out of it 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. We're gonna put in a different one. This one, inline 6, that's just rusty like crazy. Engine's no good. We'll need a different engine for that one. Frame and body's also, well, body's okay, but frame and floor is pretty bad. There, that one's got a spotlight. That's a pretty cool one. It's got all the chrome trim and everything. I don't remember the status of the engine in that one. And here, this is the one in the best shape outside. The purple one. We're going to be putting that FE engine in here because it's got nice frame, nice floor, and Torino transmission. Stick shift on the floor. That'll be fun. Down here, This is where the engine is. Tanner's been working on this. Pulled this out of that green one a week and a half or so ago. Yeah. He's getting it ready to drop in that purple one. All right. There's one more 1960 car here. Got to go up to the big garage. That one is special. It's not running and driving like the one that we just started, but this one's convertible. 1960 Ford Starliner convertible. It had a tri-power intake on it. 3 two-barrel carburetors. It's really cool looking, but we had a lot of issues trying to get that tuned. I mean, we're no experts. I don't know how to do this stuff. Yeah, cruising. Yeah. So we swapped the intake to just, I believe it's just a 4-barrel for now. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Get some lights on in here because it's starting to get a little dark. It's not dark yet. Get some more lights on, then we can show you the cool car. They're all cool cars. All right, there it is. Let's get a little closer. There we go. Convertible, 1960 Ford Starliner. We have had this thing running. It is loud, very, very loud, because we cut the exhaust off. Because I don't know why. We had to do something, not just for fun. There's a reason. There's a reason we had to cut the exhaust off, and when it runs, it is a beast. This thing sounds, it reminds me, obviously it's nothing like that, but it reminds me of like those old World War II airplanes. I mean, like, it's a beast. And loud, rumbles. I'm sure once we put exhaust on it, it won't be quite as loud, but it's still, this is a really cool engine here. Let's take a look at the interior. We got a turtle there. That's gonna be a prop for the movie I'm making on my other channel with my kids. Yeah, it's not even close to ready. We just barely started. But yeah, there we go. Black with red interior. This is a cool car. Manual transmission. Right now the clutch linkage is not fully connected. That's one of the other reasons this thing's not been driven, I don't even know, late 60s, early 70s. Might say on the license plate here. Let's see if there's a license plate, if there's a date. I mean, a lot of these cars haven't been on the road in forever. Okay, yes. Right there. You guys can see it. It's either a 68 or a 69 on that license plate. That's how long this thing's been off the road. Since 1968 or 1969. This will be fun. This will be fun to drive. So, there's one more thing I'm going to do. Unless you guys want me to show you something in particular. There's plenty to look at, plenty to be worked on. But as I said, 7 kids, they're always doing stuff. So one of my previous, maybe even the last stream I did, I was talking about how they're back there working in the woods, working on making paths. And their paths are really cool. They worked out really good. But guess what? The lawnmower broke while they're out working on the paths. So I need to go take a look because they said it's broken down at the end of the path. And I need to see if I can rescue that lawnmower. I think it should start and drive. I don't know why they left it out there. I guess left it for me to rescue it. So yeah, there we go. There's the four-wheelers, the golf cart, the UTV, the running driving Starliner. We call it Christine because it's black. Christine. And the truck we call Ruby because it's red. Ruby red. All right, now we're in the woods almost. Sun's going down in about an hour here in central Wisconsin. Okay, so walking into the woods here, you'll be able to see all this stuff I'm walking through right now, all this nice brown path. This used to look just like the green area less than a week ago. None of these brown paths existed, and I didn't do any of this. That's a cool thing. These kids did all this work. I didn't do any of this. All these paths. I did none of this. It totally looked just like the green area. I mean, as we look to the side here, all that brush, that's what this path looked like. And yet, look at this. I mean, they did this in like 2 days. I mean, it's like unbelievable. But that might be why the lawnmower's broke now, because they had it out here. Yeah, hi guys, thanks for joining. Just going through these paths my kids made out here. I didn't raise one finger making these paths. My kids did this all in like 2 days. Look at that. Look at that. That's another path. 2 paths. And then going this way. More paths. Yeah. This is solid woods. I mean, 2 days ago, or before they spent 2 days on it, it looked like this. I mean, looking into there. And there we go. Yeah. That's awesome. So I guess if I have to change a lawnmower belt in order for them to make paths like this, that's a good price to pay. There we are. There's the lawnmower. They left it out here at the end of the path. And then there's the exit. The exit from the woods finally. So they made it to the end before the lawnmower broke. All right, let's see if we can start this thing and get it back to civilization. There we are. Mower deck belt. Make sure the tires aren't flat. No, we should be able to start this thing, hopefully. All right, I don't get to drive this thing that often. Brake. Choke. Good, they left the keys in it. Mosquitoes. Those are blackberry print plants. I don't choke with that. I don't want to go through blackberry bushes. All right, there's the Starliners. Got some Bolins hiding in there. Bolins 1050s. I can't read while I'm driving. It's multiple phones. Drawing this back. Bolins 850. Where to park. All right, we made it back. All right, working hard to buy some land and have a home, have a good place for your family with 3 kids to grow up and do shenanigans. Yep, that's what it's all about here. We used to live in the city up until 2016. We bought this property, very risky. We were trying to sell our house in the city. Nobody was buying it. Decreased the price a whole bunch of times, lots of times. Finally, we looked over the finances and we said, you know, if it's a cheap enough place, low enough price, we can do 2 mortgages at once for a little while. Because you know how hard it's to try selling the house with 7 kids living in there and a bunch of pets. Yeah, anytime somebody wants to come and look at the house to have a showing, it's very hard to clean. You just can't get it clean because there's only so much you can do when you're living there and you have so much stuff. So it just, we listed it with realtors, we listed it by ourselves, and finally we saw this property show up on the market one night in the evening, and right away that morning or even that evening we called our realtor and said, we'd like to go see this place, like right away. We came, we saw it, it had lots of problems, major problems that needed repair. We put an offer in like right there, right on the spot, and we got it with somebody an hour behind us with a second offer. So now if we fell through, we're going to lose it. So we had to make it work, and we made it work. We still owned our other house, but once we moved into here, we were able to clean out our other house, and it still took a while. It sat and sat. We moved in here in the summer of 2016. We finally sold our other house somewhere around March 2017. Yeah, we're just losing money every month. It was scary, but a lot of work. It took 4.5 years to sell our house, and we got this place. Loving it because now we're out in the country. There's like nobody around right now. The nearest neighbor that way is 1/4 mile. Nearest neighbor that way is 1/4 mile. Nobody that way except farm fields that every once in a while the tractors come and work on the fields. So we're able to make all the noise we want out here because, I mean, it's just the very, very loud stuff that sometimes you'll hear at the neighbors. And it's like, did I hear something? So they don't care about our noise because they can't hear our noise. We do need to clean up a lot of stuff. Yeah. Kids don't like cleaning. They'll do it, but it's much easier for them to do something and just leave it. So stuff starts getting piled everywhere. I'm at work. This is my day job, is 7:30 till 5:30. I leave here 7:30. I get home 5:30 weekdays, nights, lots of nights sometimes, and I'm on call from time to time. So then I can come home and do stuff. I'm always doing stuff. Like you saw tonight, I was trying to get the Kawasaki meal fixed, but that still needs more work. Don't ask me. Don't don't ask what I'm doing to the transmission shaft. I'm making it fit. And hopefully that thing will get up and running in a day or two here, or 3 or 4 or a week. It's close. So I've got incentive to get that thing working because I bought the parts. I think they'll work. I just got to do a little more work to make them fit. And then that thing will be nice and usable. It's got a nice flatbed. Because if it doesn't rain, I'm going to need to water the garden soon. We've got some pumpkin plants way out on the other side of those trees that are starting to look yellow. We planted over 1,000 pumpkin plants, pumpkin seeds this year. And we have maybe 30 growing. What am I doing to the transmission shaft? So I bought a new rear sprocket because I wanted more teeth to be bigger, because we tried moving the engine forward. The chain was way too loose. It would actually hit itself. And engine, we moved it forward as far as we can. Could not take out the slack to make the chain tight. Try to push the engine all the way back and take a link out, and it's not close enough to take a link out. So we're trying to put in a bigger rear sprocket to eat up some of that slack on the chain. Well, measured it with the calipers, measured it 3 times, 1.1 inches. I couldn't find any sprockets anywhere with a bore of 1.1 inches. So closest was either 1 inch or 1.25. And I knew I didn't want a 1.25 because I want the sprocket to be tight on the shaft. If it's loose, it's just going to spin, which is what the existing one's doing. So not only is it too small, too much slack in the chain, but it's spinning. Not all the time, but you can see it's loose. It wants to spin. So I wanted it tight. And sure enough, the sprocket came today. 1 inch isn't anywhere close to fitting on a 1.1 inch shaft. So guess what I'm doing? Am I boring out my sprocket more? That's an option. But if I can't find any 1.1 inch sprockets anywhere, then that's just a lot of extra work. The next time I need to replace it, I've got to bore that one out too. And not only that, but I don't have any machine tools to bore out that sprocket. So I'm grinding the shaft with an angle grinder. Working it around, working it around, working it around. It's getting close. I just got to get it a little bit smaller. I mean, that sprocket almost fits on, but then my battery died on my cordless angle grinder. A little bit at a time with sanding discs, flap discs, and it's not right, but that's what this is all about, making it work. If I can't find any sprockets that'll ever fit that, then I guess I'll make it a 1 inch shaft. So there we go, and I'll show you. There you go. It's all nice and shiny. So it's getting there. I got a new chain too, because we're going to need a new chain at some point. It's not right. It's different. Yeah, it better work. Otherwise I just ground down my shaft. And you know, I even before I ordered it, I was even questioning myself. I'm like, did I just measure it wrong 3 different times? So I tried searching this thing online. What's the transmission input shaft size for a Kawasaki Mule 2004 or whatever it is? Nothing would tell you. Nowhere. So it's not like I could look up the specs and say, oh yeah, that's a 28 millimeter or something. And I tried looking by millimeter, and Nothing. There's no sprockets that size. So I don't know. So we're going to make it work. As you can see, this thing's already been through a lot. This thing's not brand new. We just want to be able to run and drive it. Check out our awesome bumper. That's the bumper champions there. Hey, at least we put a winch on, and it works when we use the jumper cables to attach it to the battery. One of these days we'll actually wire it to a nice switch in the dash, get a windshield on it so that when we drive around in the bugs and rain, we don't get the bugs in our eyes. So there we go. I will definitely make a video and or a live stream when we get these on the road, which will hopefully be yet this summer. So keep your eyes out for that. And I think with that, guess what? Because my family's at the beach today, guess what I get to do again tonight for my second time? I have to put away the chickens, the ducks, the geese. Yeah. But one of my kids is home, so he'll help today. So it won't be quite as crazy as last time. Thank you for watching from Central Wisconsin. You guys have a great Wednesday. The day changes every day. You guys have a great day. Make your day good. Thanks for watching.